A ton of people have been asking me about interest rates over the past week or so, which direction they're headed, and what things are going to look like moving forward. Back at the end of 2022, I had predicted that rates would be in the low to mid fives by second quarter 2023. This was based on what I was hearing from experts, talking heads, and people who are a whole lot smarter than I am. But the evidence at the time suggested that rates would come down throughout the first quarter 2023. That happened to a point, but then they came back up. So what the heck is going on? Those predictions looked pretty solid at the beginning of this year, and then some things started to happen that changed that, things that nobody could have predicted. For example, Fannie Mae decided out of the blue that they were going to change the way their fee structure worked in the form of LLPA's loan level price adjustments. And we don't need to get into too much detail about what that means, but basically Fannie Mae is charging more for lenders to deliver loans to them, which is directly going to impact interest rates. That was a unilateral decision made by FHFA and not really dictated by the markets. So that's something that people really couldn't predict, but that's had a major impact on rates. And then you have more recent events like the Silicon Valley Bank being overtaken by FDIC, and I believe I heard another bank just failed as well. Things like that, people can't really predict, but it impacts the market. The whole geopolitical landscape in today's world impacts rates here in the United States. What they're doing off in China, or the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, all of these things play a role. It's not just how is the economy here in the United States. It's a global picture, it's a global issue, and it's something that we do have to pay attention to as it relates to mortgage rates. And of course, there's the Federal Reserve. Everybody is keenly aware when the Federal Reserve meets and makes statements. When Chairman Powell comes out and announces that he's going to bump up the federal interest rate, people know that that's going to have an impact. But what people don't know is that the markets know that these rate bumps are going to occur. We can project when the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates, and therefore those rate increases are already baked into mortgage rates well in advance of the Federal Reserve meeting and formally announcing it. One thing a lot of people may be surprised to hear is that mortgage rates often come down on the day that the Federal Reserve announces interest rate hikes. Why is this? Well, because financial markets are already aware that the Federal Reserve plans on hiking interest rates. It's just a matter of them formally announcing it. Now, when they do formally announce it and the rate hike is what was expected, mortgage rates tend to come down because it's kind of a sigh of relief. Like, oh good, they raised it to the level at which we expected and no more. Therefore, we can come down on the mortgage rates a little bit because the announcement came in as expected and not worse. Now, there is one tool that everybody can use to project where rates are going to go moving forward. All you need for this is a piece of paper and a pen. Let me show you how to do it. So what you do is you put the pen to the side for now. We're going to fold the four corners of the paper inwards. And once we've done that, we're going to flip the paper over and we're going to do that step one more time. So our device should look like a little square. What we're going to do then is we're going to fold it up like that, fold it up like that. And once you have the paper folded like this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open it back up and write out all the possibilities. So interest rates are going to increase. Interest rates are going to decrease. They're going to stay the same. 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 We're going to put an increase here. We're going to put a decrease there. So we've got all of our options. Now we're going to fold it back up and we're going to write numbers on each one of these pieces. 1 to 8, and then we're going to turn it around and we're going to write colors on the outside. And the way this device works, once we have all of the data points. We're just gonna open it up here, kind of like a flower. Right? So we have the final device here. So in order to figure out where interest rates are gonna go, you first pick a color. So in this case, let's just go with red, R-E-D. And then you pick a number out of these choices. I'm gonna pick 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You pick a number again, I'm gonna go with 8. And you lift open the 8 flap, and in this case, you can see that rates are projected to come down, which is great news. As we all know, rates can do 3 things, only one of them is bad. They can increase, they can decrease, or they can stay the same. Have a great day, everybody.